Hey guys, so for today's video, I just wanted to hop on here to compare two very popular Cartier women's watches, and that is the Cartier Panthère versus the Cartier Tank Française. So the reason why I wanted to compare these two is because there are two classic popular Cartier women's watches that are still in circulation or production today, so you can buy them at the Cartier boutique or online. So if you do put them side by side, you can see that they are two very different watches, but both are considered small women's watches. So I just wanted to come on here for those of you who are debating between one or the other and to help you guys kind of like make your decision. So without further ado, let's get started. So the most notable difference between the two are the case sizes of the watch. Both are considered small versions of their respective models. However, their case dimensions do differ greatly, and I will put them in the description box below. I don't know them by heart, so instead of babbling on about certain numbers and millimeters, it will be in the description box and on the screen as well. And if you notice, which is it's kind of an optical illusion, because when I do look at the watch or the watches side by side, the Panther case does seem smaller than the Tank Française. However, the length of the Panther case is longer than the Tank Française. So I really do think that it is an optical illusion, and the dimensions of the dial that make the Panther case look smaller than the Tank Française. So if you look closely, it is obvious that the Panther is longer just because the measurement indicates the lug-to-lug measurement or length. So if you look at the Panther, the lugs are thinner and longer, whereas for the Tank Française, they're shorter and kind of like chunkier or stubbier, if you will. So it's very obvious. So when you do put them side by side and look at the lug-to-lug length, it is obvious that the Panther is longer, if you will. So if you do look at the case, you can see that the Panther does have a bezel around its dial, whereas the Tank Française does not. The dial just takes up more surface of the case. So again, adding to the optical illusion that the case is bigger on the Tank Française. So the bracelets are also very different. If you do look at the Tank Française, the bracelet is kind of more geometric and like there's more squares and rectangles. It's more industrial looking, more robust looking. It does also have a combination of brushed metal and smooth metal. So if you look closely, the bracelet is made up of 3 rows of links. So you have the chunkier brushed metal in the center and the thinner rectangular smooth metal on the 2 sides. And it is a little thicker than the Panther bracelet. If you do look at the Panther bracelet, it is daintier, more flexible. It doesn't look robust, but it is very robust. And so the link bracelet is made of 5 thin rectangular links, and it's all in smooth metal, no brushed on this. So this makes the bracelet more flexible and gives it more of that jewelry look. But in Cartier standards, it is a very robust bracelet nonetheless. As for pricing goes, both in the small stainless steel versions are entry-level watches. For the Tank Française, this one is sold for $3,700 USD, whereas the Panther is sold for $4,150 USD. There is about a $450 USD difference between the two. So honestly, when making your decision, I wouldn't go based on pricing. Go based really on what speaks to you more and what like makes your heart beat more, because the price difference between the two is so small. When you look at the overall looks of the watches or vibes or whatever, the Tank Française has more of a casual look and feel because it is so robust, geometric, and like just not rougher, but it just looks more like an everyday watch. It is a watch you can wear with like jeans and a tee. It is a daily wearer. Obviously, if you have one watch and you want to wear it every day, this is the watch to go for, just because it looks great worn more on a casual basis or more on less fancy events. Whereas the Panther is more of like a jewelry, fancy, dainty, or more elegant, if you will, watch. I do wear it more for more fancier or dressy occasions with my more dressier outfits. I have worn it casual as well, so it's kind of a watch that is like, in French we say passe-partout. You can wear it like casual and fancy, although it does have a more fancy feel. So if you are wearing it with like jeans and a top, I mean, it will kind of like dress up your look a little bit, although you can wear it casual. Whereas the Tank Française, to me, is more of a casual watch, period. So when we look at the two watches, if we're talking about similarities, both are relatively recent Cartier watches, especially, yes, they were released in the 90s and 80s. Cartier is such an old fashion house or timepiece house that, like, when you look at their earlier models, they were released in the early 1900s. So for me, the Tank Française and the Panther are more recent watches, if you will, even though they were released 20 and 30 years ago. So yes, the dial is smaller on the Panther. However, both watches have maintained that classic Cartier heritage. So both have black Roman numerals around their dials, the Cartier name under the 12th hour. Both have their blue steel sword-shaped hands, as well as their blue stone crowns. As for the battery or movement of the watch, both are quartz movement, so both are battery powered. You have to change the battery every couple of years when it dies out. And the clasp on these watches, they both have the same clasp, so they're both butterfly clasps, which means that when they are closed, you kind of don't see where the watch starts or begins. It just kind of looks like a full bracelet, which is really cool to look at. And so those are the major differences and similarities between the two watches. I hope this video helps you make your decision or determine which one best suits your personal style or vibe. Both are really great classic Cartier watches, and they both capture the essence of Cartier and their timepieces. So you won't go wrong with whichever one you do go for. What it comes down to, in my opinion, is really your own personal preference and taste. If you're more of a fancy person, we'll go with the Panther. If you're more of a laid-back jeans and a tee type of girl or person, you can go for the Tank Française.
But one thing I can guarantee, whichever one you do decide to go for, you won't regret it.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them in the comment section below. I'll be sure to answer. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like these, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye guys!